News just coming in on the Karnataka Game of Thrones. There's a big huddle in Karnataka amid the CM drama over the seat that is unfolding. The Karnataka Minister KJ George has reached Siddaramaiah's house. KJ George has said is known to be Congress's troubleshooter, and sources say that KJ George is speaking to both the camps, Siddaramaiah supporters as well as DKS supporters. Meanwhile, Siddaramaiah himself was in a huddle with some senior leaders at his residence. Veera joining me live on this story. Veera, we have KJ George also, who is at Siddaramaiah's residence, if I'm not mistaken. You have Siddaramaiah earlier also holding a meeting with top senior leaders. What's the inside track you can share with us at this point?
Morning, isn't it, for all the politicians in Karnataka and anyone who's observing Karnataka there, Vedika. KJ George, as you just mentioned, is the High Command's, is a sort of seen as this High Command loyalist, somebody who's close to the Gandhi family, and his meeting with Siddaramaiah would be construed in political circles as perhaps some kind of message or gathering of impression from Siddaramaiah on what to convey to the High Command and to perhaps share with Siddaramaiah what the overall political situation is. Look, all sides are in a mode in terms of preparing themselves for what is to come. And what is to come will be that big meeting in New Delhi, Vedika. And what each side is pushing for is very, very clear. From DK Shivakumar's camp, he's pretty clear. He's pushing for a transition plan. He's pushing for a categorical agreement on transition of power, even if it's not immediate. No one's expecting an immediate sudden transfer of power, which could lead to chaos. But what the DKS camp is pushing for is a categorical commitment on transfer of power. What the Siddaramaiah camp is pushing for is a delay in that decision. Delay that decision or defer that decision till after the state budget is presented next year. That's what the Siddaramaiah camp is pushing for. Obviously, there are other power players as well, including the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, who some believe could be pushing himself as possibly the compromise candidate if the Siddaramaiah-DKS equation simply doesn't work out to keep the party together. Remember, with 137 MLAs, Vedika, the Congress has a categorical number in the House, so there is no threat to the Congress itself in terms of its government. The BJP not in a position to perhaps destabilize the Congress itself. But within the party, the question is, how are they going to go about this power transition if it has to be effected, and what kind of optics will they want to send across? And we believe very clearly the Congress High Command wants to send across clarity before the winter session of Parliament begins on the 1st of December, as we've been reporting since yesterday. But will they be able to send it? Is anybody's guess at the moment?
Absolutely, Veera. And we're going to talk about the Sidhu camp, we're going to talk about the DKS camp, we're going to talk about the Congress High Command, all of it in the next 30 minutes. But before that, I want our viewers to know that sources say that the Siddaramaiah camp is preparing for a fight back if and only if the top brass hints at change. They're ready to put all the pressure on the High Command. If they plan to remove Siddaramaiah as Chief Minister, Siddaramaiah loyalists are ready to fly to Delhi if need be to speak directly with the top brass. Siddaramaiah's camp is even willing to field a contender against DKS if nothing else works. So let's just take you through what it really is in terms of the NDTV scoop that we have, the inside track on Camp Siddaramaiah. What we're being told through sources is that the Siddaramaiah camp is in wait and watch mode. They're going to wait for the High Command's decision, after which they're going to plan the next steps. And the next step could be that Siddaramaiah supporters, his MLAs, are ready to fly to Delhi. And that is going to be a part of their plan. There will be a push, which is the MLA's plan, the Delhi push that Siddaramaiah's team will make. There is going to be a plan to build pressure on the High Command. This is going to be a part of the strategy. MLAs will build pressure to retain Siddaramaiah as Chief Minister. And if there's any hint from the top brass, then Siddaramaiah camp is going to put all the plans in motion. You also have Jadke Oli's closed door meeting as part of that strategy. The backup plan being float other names versus DKS. That is a part of their mega plan. In fact, my colleague Deepak Bopanna spoke to Karnataka's Chief Minister advisor, legal advisor, A.S. Ponnanna, who says the High Command cannot take a unilateral decision. This is important. Listen in.
The Deputy Chief Minister, while speaking at the KPCC, has said that word is power, and one has to keep up their word, be it the president, be it himself or anybody, and that's of great essence. Few days ago, we had Mr. D.K. Suresh say that Mr. Siddaramaiah is not a man, who will go back on his word. What is the essence of this term at this moment, Mr. Polana?
No, it means whatever he says. I mean, it is a
Is there a word to keep?
verbatim meaning. We can't put it out of context and give it our own interpretation. And he has said it in the Constitution Day function. I was part of the function yesterday in KPCC. I don't see any reason why we should read between the lines.
But is there a word to keep is the question that many would ask, because that seems to be the moot question, isn't it? That was there a discussion that was held that there would be a change of leadership at the end of 2.5 years? Is that something that Chief Minister today should acknowledge? Is that something that the AICC today should acknowledge and keep up their promise?
No, this is something nobody can answer. You see, because when this discussion has happened, who are the part of the discussion, if at all such a discussion has happened, is something that nobody seems to be privy to. All I can say is the election of the Congress legislature party leader took place through the due process.
Okay.
It was a democratic process, and the High Command also was part of the election process. Finally, after all the voting was done, they had a lot of discussions and parleys in Delhi and announced Siddaramaiah ji as the Congress legislative party leader. He continues to be the legislature party leader. Shri D.K. Shivakumar is our Pradesh Congress president and therefore equally our leader.
Okay.
Other than that, to speculate, to foresee things.
But Mr. Kharge today has spoken and said that he will call all the leaders to Delhi. So if there was no discussion on leadership change, or if there was never a formula that was planned out, then why is there a need at the end of 2.5 years to call these two leaders once again to Delhi? Why is there so much ambiguity here?
I mean, they are calling the leaders of the state to Delhi. This is not new.
But at such a time that when the comments are being made at the 2.5 year mark, the timing is definitely suspect.
On the 15th of last month, this month, on 15th of this month, Chief Minister met with Sri Rahul Gandhi ji.
Okay.
We can't add some political angle to it. This is how I
If
think.
the High Command decides that they will go in for a change, what would be the response of yourself being a legislator and the others?
It's a very hypothetical situation that you are putting across. High Command cannot unilaterally decide anything. They are going to hold discussions, and we will all be part of the discussions. Our views, our opinions will be made known to the High Command when the situation arises. All I can say right now is we have an elected legislative party leader. Therefore, any other discussion.
I'm going to read between some of the lines that you said here. You make an interesting point. You say that he's a democratically elected leader by the MLAs. That's what you said. And you also said that unilaterally the High Command cannot decide. But seems like
will not decide.
they will not decide, you say. So, but Mr. Siddaramaiah, many of the leaders say it's up to the High Command. It's up to Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge combined.
Yeah, of course it is up to the High Command. But I am saying the decision making in the Congress party there is a process, and I'm sure they will follow that process and decide whenever the situation arises. Right now we are only speculating.
So you're saying it has to go to a vote if there is a situation that arises?
No, there is no such situation. What I'm trying to say is, now I am elected for 5 years to the Legislative Assembly. Unless there is a re-election, where is the question of campaigning for votes? That is all I'm saying.
Let me introduce our reporters on the ground. They are tracking every twist, turn, development on this story. Veera is joining us live for the big picture. We have Ritu from the ground in Bengaluru, as well as Aishwarya, who is going to tell us what to expect in Delhi. Ritu, very interesting interaction there between Deepak and the Karnataka Chief Minister's advisor, A.S. Ponnanna. I want to understand from you and then from Veera what he meant by this is a decision that cannot be unilaterally taken by the High Command. Ritu. All right, there's a problem with Ritu's line there. Veera, let me put that question to you.
Vedika, I think there's too much that's being read out of every little line that's coming out of Karnataka. I think the impression that the Siddaramaiah camp wants to give across, and if I can just put this in perspective for you in terms of the change of tonality as far as the Siddaramaiah camp and Siddaramaiah himself is concerned. When this crisis last erupted, when this talk last erupted, it was Siddaramaiah who came out when he was in Delhi to categorically say that he's going to spend the next 5 years in office and he's going to be chief minister for 5 years. We believe that statement was made by Siddaramaiah after consultations with High Command to send out a clear message of stability, and they didn't want to upset the apple cart at that time. DK Shivakumar famously at that time said, what choice do I have if the High Command says he's the chief minister for 5 years? I'll have to abide by it. This is where we start off. Now, slowly you can hear the Siddaramaiah camp turning around and saying it's for the High Command to send out that clear message. Basically turning around and sending that, look, the ball is in your court. Beneath this, Vedika, it's very clear that in terms of the number of MLAs, and the reason why Siddaramaiah was chosen as chief minister in 2023 after that enormous verdict for the Congress party was because he had the support of MLAs, and he still is believed to have the support of MLAs, which means that any transition of power from Siddaramaiah to DK Shivakumar would need Siddaramaiah's assent. It would become chaotic and troublesome if he were to rebel. And he is not someone who is going to take anything lying down quietly. So the decision on what next has to be taken in consensus. And that's the message that's coming in from the Siddaramaiah loyalists, that we will abide by what the High Command says, but let the High Command first discuss with us. So if you want to effect a change of guard, you need to have a Congress legislature party meet in Karnataka. And I think the High Command doesn't want to go that far as yet. They want to have a meeting with the top leaders. They don't want to effect a change immediately, but they want a categorical transition plan which everyone is on board with, so that all sides are placated.
That's very interesting, the word consensus here. What is the consensus is the question over the next 1 week. Hopefully we'll have an answer to that. Before I go to Aishwarya and come back to you, a quick recap for our viewers. The big question here is this the season finale to the Karnataka Game of Thrones? Let's run you through the big developments that have taken place. Well, it seems that the Chief Minister chair tussle has shifted from Karnataka away to Delhi, where Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge is set to meet Rahul Gandhi. Siddaramaiah as well as DK Shivakumar, the Congress president, has said that he will call both the Chief Minister and his deputy to Delhi to meet him and Rahul Gandhi. Now, the second big development is the NDTV scoop that we've got on Siddaramaiah's camp. A lot of meetings taking place. What we're getting to know is there's going to be a wait and watch strategy by Sidda's camp. They will wait to understand what this consensus is that even Veera is alluding to, after which they will take steps, be it rushing to Delhi or be it putting other contenders up against DKS. Now, the third development, a cryptic post by Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar that has stirred the crisis further in many ways, stressing the word, quote-unquote, word power is world power, and hinting that many don't know the value of a chair. Meanwhile, a fresh rift has erupted among Karnataka seers as Vocaliga and Kuruba seers clashed over backing DK Shivakumar as Chief Minister. Vocaliga seer Nirmalanand Dath Swamiji batted for DK Shivakumar, while Kuruba community's Swami also retaliated, saying that there was no provision in the constitution to appoint anyone as Chief Minister based on the demand of seers. And finally, the Karnataka BJP. It has gone all out on social media and launched a scathing attack at the Congress over the power tussle, saying that all state machinery seems to have collapsed due to the ongoing CM chair war. I'm now also going to go to Aishwarya, who joins me live. Aishwarya, we're going to talk about Kharge as well, but a huge part of the Karnataka CM seat drama very soon will be moving to Delhi. Yes, we've had MLAs come down, we've had stakeholders come down to Delhi, speak to Kharge, speak to others in the Congress party. But this is going to be a huge challenge for the Congress High Command to take a decision when you have the Congress MLA split down the middle in many ways. And I'm going to go to Veera after this on this, but a huge challenge for the Congress High Command in the days ahead.
Well, certainly, Vedika, and for the last 2 weeks, I remember we are tracking day and night the politics and the power tussle which is going in Karnataka, especially in Delhi. When we visited the Karnataka Bhavan or either at Mr. Kharge's residence, continuously there were several of the MLAs who are camping in the national capital, be it from Siddaramaiah's camp or from DK's camp, publicly asking them that why they are in Delhi. Of course, answers of the record given that it is to mount the pressure on the High Command to have this change in the powers in the state of Karnataka. But it is some official works on record what they tell. Certainly, it is in Delhi after Mallikarjun Kharge for many days when both the leaders publicly maintain unity amongst each other. Their supporters have continuously pushed, competing claims. We have seen the MLAs who arrived in the in the national capital. They stated that Siddaramaiah had strong backing from the OBC groups, and his governance record clearly states that he will continue to be the leader for at least 5 years. While when we speak to the MLAs of Shivakumar camp who were stationed in Delhi, they clearly states that it's time after 2.5 years because he has this organizational heft and he has built the party. He had led the party to win the elections in Karnataka. Mallikarjun Kharge now publicly stating that the Deputy Chief Minister will meet the High Command. Rahul Gandhi will be there. We have to wait and watch when this important meeting will be called in Delhi. So far, there's been no official word coming in from the Congress High Command or the Congress Party about this important meeting.
All right, Ritu also joining us. I'll go to her also in a moment from now. But our viewers should know that the Congress chief, Mallikarjun Kharge, has said he'll call DK Shivakumar and Chief Minister Siddaramaiah to Delhi to discuss the ongoing tussle. Listen in to what the Congress chief had to say.
ये देखिए, मैं इन सबको बुला के चर्चा करता हूँ। उस चर्चे में राहुल गांधी भी रहेंगे और मेरे हमारे दूसरे मेंबर्स भी रहेंगे, सीएम भी रहेंगे और हमारे डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर रहेंगे। तो इन सबको बुला के चर्चा करने के बाद निर्णय होगा। हाई कमांड बोले तो टीम है, अकेला नहीं रहता, टीम है। जब हमारी पूरे हाईकमांड की टीम बैठ के चर्चा करके निर्णय लेगा।
Veera, we just heard from Kharge there, but for our viewers and for their benefit, I want to understand from you who has the major support within the Karnataka government out of the two faces that we've been talking about, DKS and Siddaramaiah, in terms of numbers.
Well, let me put a very sharp answer to that. I think the High Command has the maximum numbers.
All right.
But at 137 seats, MLAs plus independents as well that the Congress has, it has an enormous majority. Look, if the numbers were lesser, there would have been a precipitation of crisis and the BJP would be just watching this exercise. But at the moment, given the kind of numbers the Congress has in Karnataka, it would be very difficult to, destabilize the Congress itself is one view that's there. But given amongst that, there is a sense that Siddaramaiah has the larger support of MLAs, and he has traditionally has the larger support of MLAs, which is why he was made Chief Minister in 2023. He also has the support of a lot of his loyalists and cabinet ministers.
All right, Siddaramaiah, I believe, is speaking. Let's just cut across. Veera, I'll come back to you.
ಕಲಬುರಗಿ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ, ಬೀದರ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಯಾದಗಿರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ, 3-4 ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ. ಆ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಬೆಳೆಹಾನಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದಂಥ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳು ಸುಮಾರು ಉತ್ತರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲೇ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಬೆಳೆಹಾನಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಮೆಕ್ಕೆಜೋಳ, ಕಬ್ಬು, ತೊಗರಿ, ಹೆಸರು ಈ ಥರದ ಪ್ರಮುಖ ಬೆಳೆಗಳು ಬೆಳೆ ನಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ನಾನು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಬೈರೇಗೌಡ ಮತ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ದ ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಇನ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಗಳು ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದ್ದರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆ ವೀಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಾನು ವೈಮಾನಿಕ ಸಮೀಕ್ಷೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ರೈತರು ಮಳೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಳೆ ಆದರೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಳೆ
The farmers have seems to be helpless as well because of the heavy rains.
ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಆಯಿತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೂ ಮನವಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರದವರು
So we have also requested the union government as well.
ಒಂದು ಟೀಮನ್ನು ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ಟೀಮ್ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಅವರು ವರದಿ
The union government has said that they'll send one team as well. ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಇದೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಕಾಯಿಲ್ ಬೇಡ
Don't know whether
ಅಂತೇಳಿ
they'll give
ನಮ್ಮ
a
ರಾಜ್ಯ
relief fund, but
ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದಲೇ
we can only hope for it.
ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿತು. ಸುಮಾರು 2,200 ಚಿಲ್ಲರೆ ಕೋಟಿ SDRF 1,218 ಕೋಟಿ SDRF.
There has been a huge crop losses.
ಮತ್ತು 1,033 ಕೋಟಿ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚುವರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್
1,330 crores is also that the union government
8,500
need to look into it for the kind of loss that
ನಾವು
the state has
8,500
suffered.
ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಒಂದು ಹೆಕ್ಟೇರ್ ಪ್ರದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಕುಸ್ಕಿ ಜಮೀನಾದರೆ 8,500.
We are also, as a state government, we are also giving our share.
ಒಟ್ಟು 17,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಒಂದು ಹೆಕ್ಟೇರ್ಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ರೈತರಿಗೆ. ಒಂದು ಹೆಕ್ಟೇರ್ಗೆ 17,000 ಕುಸ್ಕಿ ಜಮೀನಾದರೆ. ನೀರಾವರಿ ಜಮೀನಾದರೆ 17,000 SDRF ಫಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 8,500 ಅಂದರೆ 25,500 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಗಾಯಿತು ಜಮೀನು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಟ್ಟು 31,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಒಂದು ಹೆಕ್ಟೇರ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. 31,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಒಂದು ಹೆಕ್ಟೇರ್ಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ 8,500 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದ. ಅದು ಕುಸ್ಕಿ ಜಮೀನಾಗಲಿ ಕರಿ ಜಮೀನಾಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ
As said, the state government is also doing its job.
ಜಮೀನಾಗಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ 8,500 ರೂಪಾಯಿನ ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಒಟ್ಟು 14,000 ಹೆಕ್ಟೇರ್ಗೆ
8,000 is what the state government is giving.
1,033 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದ 1,033 ರೂಪಾಯಿ 33 ಕೋಟಿ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದ. SDRF ಫಂಡ್ನಿಂದ
1,033 crore is what
ಕೋಟಿ
the kind of crop loss has taken place.
ಕೋಟಿ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ SDRF ಫಂಡ್ನಿಂದ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. DBT ಮೂಲಕ ಅವರ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ. ಇವತ್ತು 1,033 ಕೋಟಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಹೆಚ್ಚುವರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ DBT ಮೂಲಕ ರೈತರ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ತಲುಪಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಬಟನ್ ಒತ್ತೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ
we will be trying to give this money to the farmers in their accounts.
ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ತಿಳಿಸೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೂಲಕ ರೈತರಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸೋಣ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ DCಗಳು ರೈತರು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
DCs have also been informed about the scenario situation.
ತಲುಪಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ 14,24,000
Karnataka Chief Minister there holding a press conference talking about the plight of farmers and the huge crop loss that has taken place in the state. Veera, business as usual is what is being projected here by the Karnataka Chief Minister and his government, but we were talking about the numbers that stack up for Siddaramaiah within the MLAs. Let's continue with that discussion.
Well, ostensibly business as usual, Vedika,
Yes.
but business is never as usual when there is political churning that's playing out, right? But yeah, as you were pointing out to the numbers, look, Siddaramaiah has his section of loyalists. There are loyalists of Siddaramaiah, and it's a known fact that they outnumber the loyalists of DK Shivakumar at some level. But then, as far as the High Command's writ is concerned, that would be decisive in terms of number of MLAs. But let's go back to 2023. When this whole negotiation was on, while DK Shivakumar was credited with driving the party, building the organization and fighting that election and took a large portion of the credit for that victory, it was Siddaramaiah who was also, remember, the leader of opposition at that time and also the face of the party in terms of the campaign. So Siddaramaiah seen as a much taller and larger leader, which is why there was a sense that DK Shivakumar had to concede to Siddaramaiah. Now, if there was any agreement between the top leaders behind closed doors, the question of who's going to enforce that agreement. And I believe that Siddaramaiah, according to at least sources in the Congress, has a very strong equation with Rahul Gandhi and would abide by the diktat of the High Command. However, he's not going to let this go very easily. He is going to have a muscle flex, and what he's pushing for is a delay, if not deferring, of any decision and any kind of optics of a transition till after the next budget in Karnataka in March 2026.
We're going to talk about the DKS camp in a moment from now, but for our viewers, just let's bring them up to speed about the cryptic post by the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar. And he stated in that post, word power is world power, hinting that many don't know the value of a chair. Now, Veera, we've spoken about Siddaramaiah. We've also brought to our viewers the strategy that's, the ongoing strategy that's in the minds of the MLAs supporting Siddaramaiah. Let's talk about D.K. Shivakumar for a moment. You have been saying that what the DKS camp or DKS wants is clarity on the transition phase, on when it's going to take place, how it's going to take place. But if that transition doesn't happen immediately, and it looks unlikely, correct me if I'm wrong, what is the strategy that the DKS camp has in place? We've just elaborated on Siddaramaiah and his team's plan.
Well, two thoughts here. One is that the reason why there is constant churning and constant comments from D.K. Shivakumar is, as observers would say, perhaps to declare repeatedly that, look, I'm still in the race. I'm not going to abdicate that position completely. I know I let it go for Siddaramaiah at that time, but I cannot allow the power equations to change. What was the agreement in 2023, Vedika? The agreement in 2023 was that D.K. Shivakumar would retain the post of State Congress President and also be the only Deputy Chief Minister in the Siddaramaiah cabinet. And that was a reassertion of the DKS power within the Congress. Look, this is not just about Karnataka. D.K. Shivakumar has been a troubleshooter for the Congress, has been an old Congress loyalist, unlike Siddaramaiah, who moved in from the Janata movement. D.K. Shivakumar has been the original congressman as far as the party is concerned, someone who stood with the party through through the last 3-4 decades, and hence has a very strong bond there. Should he be rewarded at this stage? A, that's the first question that they are pushing as far as the DKS camp is concerned, that he needs to be rewarded for his loyalty and work for the party. B, also that he is the prime OBC Vokkaliga caste face of the party, and that during the elections, the Vokkaligas consolidated behind the Congress, giving that massive victory. Without his presence, they believe that the party would not have had the 136 kind of victory that it got in 2023.
Hold that thought, Veera, because Deepak has someone with him. I can't decipher right now who it is, but I'm going to toss over to Deepak. Deepak, go ahead.
Well, Mr. Bhandari is joining us. He's, of course, a senior leader and, of course, part of the KPCC himself. Interestingly, he was in that car when Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge was on his way to the airport and Mr. D.K. Shivakumar sat in that same car. He was privy to that conversation. Probably he's not going to reveal all the details and the conversation that happened, but let's try and speak to him and to get more details. Mr. Bhandari, very precarious situation unfolding here in the state of Karnataka. How do you really view this? What sort of assurances has been given from Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge?
There's nothing to reveal. Nothing has happened.
Okay.
High Command will take the decision. AICC President is there, the former AICC Presidents are there, our AICC General Secretaries are there. They will take the decision on that. This is all I want to say that it's more on the media hype. Whatever we are taking the decision, the High Command...
But your MLAs are the ones who are making comments. Your ministers are sitting and meeting MLAs. There is a huddle that's going on in the Chief Minister's house. Is this normal, sir? If you can't put all of this on the media.
One thing I will tell you, sir, meeting the ministers... See, for example, I'm a MLC, I came to meet our Home Minister. See, like that only all MLAs are meeting their ministers and leaders and also. That is going on, sir. This is in politics.
Okay, tell us about that conversation that happened between Mr. D.K. Shivakumar and Mr. Kharge. Could you reveal any of the details?
100% I can reveal. Both are discussed about the D.K. Shivakumar is requested Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, sir, we are, you are putting the stone for the 100 Congress officers. He need a date for the Mallikarjun Kharge. That is what he requested with the Kharge Sahab, D.K. Shivakumar. He need a date to...
Interesting that you say this, that all of a sudden he hops onto a car and the conversation was about inaugurating Congress offices.
He wanted to see the D.K. Shivakumar, our KPCC President, has a vision that he want to 100 years were completed, 100 Congress block officers should be in the entire Karnataka
also,
state.
I want to very quickly ask you, a little while earlier, the legal advisor to the Chief Minister, Mr. A.S. Ponnanna, made a very interesting comment. He says that, I asked him, are they going to be okay if the High Command orders for a change? And he says that the High Command cannot take a unilateral decision. What do you make of a statement like that?
Sir, I don't know what context is given that statement. High command is the high command. See, today one thing I want to tell you very clearly, the party is the supreme. Whoever elected today, they are all first, the party president is signing the B form. Under the name of, our symbol, the people are elected.
But
the party is the high
how do you
command.
make of a statement which says that the high command is not the ultimate authority? At the end of the day, it's a democratic process and the MLAs decide.
No, I don't know. The MLAs are elected by the Congress party. They are all elected by the Congress
Not
symbol.
the people. Symbol, okay.
Symbol, no? They are elected by the people, but the symbol only. No? The party is given the B form and give the symbol. So that is the party is the supreme. The party high command will take the decision on that, sir.
Interesting comment, sir. Thank you for speaking to NDTV. Well, now you hear a counter. Now the statement that comes in is that it's the party and the party symbol with which MLAs contest, and they are bigger than anything else.
Voices. And Veera, I think the problem is going to be what Deepak is also trying to probe them over. Is there a problem? They all think the party high command is going to take the final call. That chorus growing louder at this point. It seems that they've all been told to hold their horses till the high command comes out with a decision. But those strategies, Veera, being planned, be it DKS, be it the Siddaramaiah camp.
That's right. As we were just speaking, Vedika, I just got a text message from a Congress leader who says that even if there is no problem, you guys will probe enough to find a problem for us. So they are still blaming all this on the media. But obviously it's not, right? There can't be so much smoke without fire. So there is a sense of discomfort within, and each side will be formulating its strategy. And the sense is the tonality of their comments sort of sets the stage, right? One side wants a transition plan laid out. The other side wants to defer the decision as far as possible. One side wants the high command to categorically decide, which is the DK Shivakumar side. The Siddaramaiah camp obviously would push to say that, look, the MLAs need to be taken into account, because he seems confident about the support of the larger number of MLAs. So it's going to be a tricky a task for Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge and KC Venugopal to navigate, as it has been since 2023. But it's time the High Command bites the bullet. Some would blame the High Command for sending out a message of confusion. When Siddaramaiah turns around and says that he's going to be the chief minister for 5 years, if there is no response from the High Command, then some would question what the High Command's point of view is. Since the start of this whole exercise, it's been DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah who've been speaking out, not so much clarity coming from the High Command, because giving that clarity would mean upsetting one side or the other. But it's perhaps time for the High Command to bite the bullet and Rahul Gandhi to take a categorical decision with both Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar next, and lay out the road ahead for the Congress in Karnataka, because the optics of confusion is hurting the Congress party, especially after that Bihar defeat, and it wants to end that optics of confusion before the 1st of December when Parliament convenes for winter session.
Absolutely, and they don't want this to be a hot topic of discussion inside Parliament, and that's why they want to get this done by the 1st of December. But let's now bring to you some of the main characters of this entire episode. Before that, DK Shivakumar, he had spoken out on that cryptic post of his. Let's listen in.
Power is word power ಅಂತ. ಈಗೇನು ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಮಾತು ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಮಾತು ಆಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದೇ ವಿಶ್ವದಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದು ಪವರ್ ಅದು. ಒಬ್ಬ ಜಡ್ಜಿ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ, ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ, ನಾನು ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ, ನೀವು ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ, ಮನೇಲಿ ಮಾತಾಗ್ಲಿ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪವರ್. ಆ ಪವರ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ಮಾತುಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತಿರೋರು ಈ ಚೇರ್ ಬೆಲೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಕುರ್ಚಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೋಗಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಚೇರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಿಂತವ್ರು ಇವರು.
The main protagonists, let's tell you more about them. Let's start with the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah. He wants to, of course, serve the full 5-year term, and his team has a plan in place as well if there is any other decision taken by the party high command. DK Shivakumar, Deputy Chief Minister, wants to be CM after 2.5-year mark. But remember what Veera has also been reiterating, he wants clarity on the transition. When will it happen? How will it happen? If it's not happening now, When will it happen is the big question for him. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge unhappy with the public comments. Sonia, Rahul and I will fix it. Remember, like Veera again said, you had Siddaramaiah come out saying he's going to complete his 5-year term. These comments, of course, deepening the rift within, even though you have the Karnataka Congress Party coming out and saying there is no problem internally. And then Rahul Gandhi, he's been silent on the CM conundrum, but we do know that there could be a meeting between him and Kharge that takes place very, very shortly. And there will be a meeting among the 4 top people, Siddaramaiah, DK Shivakumar, Rahul Gandhi, and the Congress chief, which is Kharge. KJ George, he's playing the role of the mediator, speaking to both the camps, DKS's camp, as well as Siddaramaiah's camp. And then, of course, you have Parameswara, who also wants to be chief minister. So a lot of stakeholders, a lot of protagonists in this piece when it comes to the Game of Thrones in Karnataka. And a quick big takeaway from you, Veera, to make our viewers understand all the developments that have happened. A huge challenge before Rahul Gandhi, while you have both camps saying there is no internal rift, the High Command will take the decision. But of course, the script reads otherwise.
Right? I wonder if the politicians and even journalists reporting it understand the whole thing properly. I wonder if I understand it properly as well. But then look, there are 4 key questions, Vedika, before the Congress High Command. One, was there a tacit or secret agreement as it's been referred to? If yes, what was that secret agreement? If there was a secret agreement and you reveal the details of that secret agreement, is there going to be a transition eventually as far as Karnataka is concerned? And how are you going to implement it? Is everyone on board with it? And finally, when will that transition be effected? We don't expect the transition to happen immediately, or at least that's the sense that one is picking up, that there cannot be a sudden change because there is an assembly session that's coming up in December as well. And it would be difficult to effect a transition and chaos at this stage. But eventually, if there has to be a transition from the Siddaramaiah era to, let's say, the Shivakumar era, or perhaps another era in the middle, when would that happen and how would that happen, and is everyone on board? These are the questions that the Congress High Command has to answer and send out a clear message on Vedika. Till that happens, it will still be speculation, confabulation, huddles after huddles, meetings and cryptic political statements that we've been trying to decipher over the last 2.5 years.
All right, well said there, Veera. I'm going to come back to you in a moment because I want our viewers to also understand that there's a face-off also in terms of a war of words between 2 seers as well, as the Vocaliga and Kuruba pontiffs clash over backing DKS for Chief Minister, sharpening the power tussle storm. Listen in.
ಈಗ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ಕಳೆದ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮವರೊಬ್ಬರು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಟ್ಟು ನಿಂತು ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಆದರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಸುಮಾರು 2.5 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಎಂಬ ಆಶಾಭಾವನೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಆದರೆ ಅದು ಆಗೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಆಗೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗದಲೇ ಹೋದದ್ದೇ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಬೇಸರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಜನ ಭಕ್ತರುಗಳು ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಸರ್ವವಿದಿತ, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ನೋಡಿದ್ರಿ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು. ಈ ಒಂದು ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಗೊಂದಲಗಳು ಏನು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ ನಿತ್ಯ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹರಿದಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ನಾಡಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಪಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಟಂಥ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ಷೇಮಕರವಾದ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಏನಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟತೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ನವರು 2.5 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿ ಕೆ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ ನಮಗೂ ಇತ್ತು ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಕ್ತಾದಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿ ಏನು
ಸಂವಿಧಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಠಾಧೀಶರು ಹೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳನ್ನು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳನ್ನು ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಸಂವಿಧಾನಿಕವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಶಾಸಕರಿಗೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಶಾಸಕರು ಯಾರು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಿರ್ಣಯನ ಶಾಸಕರು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಹೊರತು ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.